Hello everyone, welcome to the video lesson of the month. We're going to talk about different ways to get the ball up and down around the greens here at Hidden Glen. I'm going to show you 3 different shots depending on what you're comfortable with and also depending on how imaginative you are. I think one of the big things out here at Hidden Glen is you have to be creative around the greens. You can't just get up and hit the same shot. There's a lot of times you need to get the ball up in the air off of a tight lie, need to get the ball to run more out of a thick lie, need to maybe get the ball to stop quickly on a second shelf of the green. First I'm going to start with the hole number 3 on the practice course here. This green is designed very similar to number 18 at Hidden Glen. The idea behind it is we are trying to get the ball on the shelf where the pin is. Now, it took me a while to figure this out, being new last year to the golf course, that you didn't have to be that precise and land it exactly on that second tier. What I like to do is I like to try to now use that backstop as kind of a brakes for the golf ball so that that ball slows down and feeds back to the hole. If you notice in this particular shot, the pin is on the left side of this green. It's a very narrow green. I'm about 35 yards from the hole, and the idea here is I'm taking the trouble part out of the play. So what's trouble? Trouble is short and left or short and right. We don't want to leave it in that position where we're chipping again because it will run down. And for those of you that play regularly, you know number 18 does this to you often. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to aim a little bit right side. So you can see my stance is open. I'm picking again, I picked a lofted club. I want to take a little bit bigger swing to land it up on that tier or maybe just a little short and run it back. So I'm not worried about getting this ball to stop. I actually want it to run a little bit. When it runs, it's going to use that backstop as a hill as a backstop to slow the ball down and bring it back toward the hole. So if we watch this in slow motion, you'll be able to see the club swing back. Again, not a real big swing. Club swing down coming from the inside, attacking the ball properly, a little bit of turf taken. Swing through it. And if you notice where I hit this shot, I made sure I got it up to that tier. So when I hit this shot and that ball lands, that is clearly on the second tier. I'm not taking a chance by getting real precise trying to land this exactly there. Watch the ball as it rolls up that tier, and then watch because of the hill what happens naturally is that ball starts to come back down the tier. This ball ended up coming back to about 2.5 feet when it was all said and done. So if you watch it again, not a big motion, not a hard swing. I'm trying to get it up, make sure I've got enough club to get on that tier or at least enough club to run up the tier, and then let it trickle back down the slope as it's going down. That's one way to do it. Now you might run into a situation where, okay, we're going to take out, we're not comfortable chipping at all. It's too far to putt. Now I'm on the right side of that third hole green. I apologize, I cut off a little bit of the golf ball down there at the bottom. But I've taken my hybrid club I use a lot to try to get the ball to run toward the hole. What I'm doing basically there is just taking and gripping it almost like a putter. I am setting up to it like a putter, so I'm setting up much more close to the golf ball, more on top of the golf ball. And from there, I'm going to try to use my arms and shoulders, not my wrists. So if we watch this in slow motion, you'll be able to see the putter, or I should say the hybrid, come back and through in like a longer putting motion. That's my 4 hybrid I'm using here. So when I get down to impact right there, shaft is pretty straight. I'm not helping the ball. I'm not scooping the ball. I'm going to let this ball roll off the club face. As I go through, you can see what happens. That ball gets up in the air a little bit. And the idea of using that hybrid is the hybrid won't get stuck like a putter will. A putter will get stuck in that fairway. It'll slow down in that fairway, whether it's wet, whether it's dry. It's got potential to slow down and get caught in the grass. If you use a little bit of loft and let it run through that grass, it works out very, very well. A great shot to kind of put that in mind with, as I keep replaying this as I talk, is the idea of KJ Choi when KJ Choi got up and down on the 16th hole at TPC at Sawgrass. Look up that shot. That was a great shot where he got creative, knew he couldn't get to the hole with a high lob shot. He decided to bump and run a 9-iron through there. And that worked out awesome for him. It was a real good shot. He ended up missing the putt, unfortunately, but that was the only way he could really get the ball close. Last but not least, and I used a little bit more high-speed video on this one, so it's a darker image. This is a higher shot. I've taken my lob wedge. Notice how I set up to the ball. Normally, I would set up to a chip shot. My hands and head would be in front of that. If you remember from a lesson last year, a video lesson last year, my hands and head would be in front of the golf ball. My weight would be leaning on the left side. I'm very balanced right now. My weight is behind the ball, just slightly. Also notice the shaft angle of the golf club. Shaft angle of the golf club is leaning back approximately 8 degrees. I'm doing this because I'm not going to try to open up the face. When I start to open up the face, I mess with the bounce of the club. I'm just opening this, I'm just leaning it back a little bit. I'm on a little bit of a slope going up. And what I'm going to do as I make this motion is I'm going to have pretty quiet hands. You'll see as I go back in slow motion here, there's a little bit of wrist hinge, but very little. Notice my arms are pretty straight. I've turned my torso. And watch as I come back through to the ball. I'm not going to break my wrist. I'm not trying to slide the club underneath the ball. So at impact, if I can get zero in right where impact is, right here, if you actually notice the shaft angle is almost straight up and down. Okay? I'm letting the loft of the club do this. Too many times I see amateurs open up the club face and take a really, really big swing, trying to flop this thing up in the air, when instead, all we need to do is really get it up and be safe to get this on the green. So as you look at the rest of the motion forward, you can see I didn't break my wrists. My arms are still extended going through here. I haven't done anything with my hands that would cause me to flip the shot. And that ball is going to get up high enough on this shot. Those are a couple different ways that you can attack different hole locations out here at the golf course. Again, to me, one of the best spots to practice this is the course Scott created over there, that practice course. It's an awesome facility. You can try a bunch of different shots. You're not going to be holding up anyone in play. And there's that huge, also that practice green, which would be over to my left right here on this video, or I should say to my right, to the left of me as we're looking at this video. Huge practice green with a couple bunkers. Great spot to practice this. You get tight lies, you get rough lies, you get all sorts of different things. So next time you got that shot around the green, maybe practice another one. Be a little creative. Try to come up with something different. But remember, the big thing is, don't be real cute. My old college coach used to tell me, don't make a double bogey trying to make a great par. Good luck, and let us know if you have any questions.